All right, I'm back. It looks like we missed last week, and I knew that. I did it on purpose because, to tell you the truth, I really didn't feel like making a video. And I knew I put that accountability out in front of me in the beginning, and I just wasn't feeling it. But I need to be careful with that because consistency and discipline and repetition is something that I find pretty tricky because a lot of the good stuff in my life, if I want to have it or if any of us want to have it, requires consistency and momentum and discipline and repetition. And I really subscribe to the idea of doing things when it's not sexy, doing things when I don't want to do it, when there's a perfectly good excuse to not do it. I am fully aware that I'm closetly lazy. If there's a good enough reason, my mind will catch that and bring it in and morph it into, yeah, you know what? See, I don't need to do that. Um, Whatever the excuse is, I can go on, and I'll explain a little bit, but it is something that I need to be careful with. Um, but at the same time, in this creative, artistic way, there's a different set of rules for me. If I don't want to do something or I don't feel inspired to do something, I need to really pick that apart because it can get dangerous. Um, I didn't feel like filming the video last week, so I just didn't film it. And I was going to kind of forgive myself and, wait till next week. And the same goes for a painting. If I am not feeling it that day or the stars haven't aligned, then I can paint under most conditions because it's my go-to. So I can kind of get myself into the mood. Um, I got to be careful because I could mess up a painting. I could, hate the process, which is fine. But I listen to that a little bit more than, going out and doing my run. Whether it's raining or it's too hot or I'm tired or everything has a fine line. If I'm hurt and injured, I need to consider that a bit more. But I relate consistency to process and to winning because I know that I need to call myself out on some of these things because if I don't, nobody really cares to, and God forbid I catch a cosign from somebody else, makes the excuse even that much bigger. It's a tricky place to be, and I know that by giving in causes a ripple effect. I mean, there's a consequence to all of it. I mean, I was running yesterday with a nephew, and he's 13, and we were running around this lake, and he was getting tired. So I said, okay, well, we're gonna stop and walk. And then once we get to that bench, which was 100 feet away, we're gonna start to run again. And he asked me why I picked the bench. And it's like a game within myself because I picked the bench because if I didn't immediately select another starting point to run again, there's a likelihood that we would have walked the rest of the way. So I need to kind of call myself on my behaviors and treat things like the bench. That's fine. I can take a day off or I can take an hour off, but I'm looking at the clock on when I'm going to start again, or I'm looking at the distance on when I'm going to start again, because without those small little deadlines, or those small little accountability markers, I will just walk my whole life. And I know what happens when I do that. Pretty soon I could wake up and it's been a week since I've painted anything. It's been days since I did the thing that I said I was going to do, and then that leads to this weird kind of failure within myself. And people feel it, but they believe the excuses more than the reality. And excuses are comfortable. They can be so believable that it alters reality. And I see people defending it to the death. I mean, a good excuse can take you really far, and the truth is that that person or myself knows the truth. The truth is something that I'm being lazy, I gave up, I quit prematurely. What is it? What is the real reason for starting something and not finishing it? Because I'm not sure, aside from, catastrophe, that anything really makes sense. So that's why I put these deadlines. I mean, I'm going to run a marathon, not try. I'm going to run a marathon in December. I've already signed up for it months ago. That is the bench in the story. Because if I don't mark the date, the time, and the place, there's reason for me to bail or deviate from that. And the same thing with my artwork. I mean, it's a little bit more open if I don't have a commission or a project, but even today, I built the painting that I wanted to make. I mixed the colors. I have the canvas picked out, and that kind of starts the accountability. Once I mix the paint, that's the hardest part. It's not even necessarily coming up with the idea, it's mixing the paint. Because I mixed the palette ahead of time for the most part. So I mixed 20, original colors today, labeled, wrapped, ready to go. So now the not easier work, but the equation is laid out. So I just need to start. And that's what a lot of these entries I want to be. I want to call myself out. I want to give somebody else the courage to call themselves out. What is the thing? What is the thing that you wish you did? What is the thing you have an excuse to not do? And I didn't just make this up. I mean, people have been harsh enough with truth to me to help me see that I was full of crap, because there really is no valid reason for me and my lifestyle and where I'm at right now to start something and not see it through. So this will be part of the journey. Week in and week out, I'm going to check in, call myself out, let you know what I learned, and hopefully this can translate to something that you have a small aha moment about. You're right, I'm gonna go pick that thing back up. Or I'm gonna go start this thing and see it to the end. And that's the beauty of all this. I get to share it with you.